I'd like to welcome everybody to CKJ Crypto News. Guys, we're going to cover the Executive Order, U.S. Department of Treasury, a financial system that creates economic opportunity for non-bank financial fintechs. President Donald Trump, Executive Orders, drew up by Stephen T. Mnuchin, Department of Treasury Secretary. Guys, I'm here to tell you that Coinbase has been utilizing XRP for years. Banks are using XRP. The World Bank is using XRP. There's a lot of institutions utilizing XRP as we speak. And it's called a sandbox, regulatory sandbox. It's basically until regulation is drawn up, they're allowed to use the technology through sandbox initiatives. And I'm going to show you guys, and I also got a couple articles what I think is the biggest news this year in crypto. So you guys definitely want to check this video out, that's for sure. We're going to talk about the executive order, which calls out Ripple by name twice. But we're also going to talk about Treasury releases, report on non-bank financial fintech and innovation. Guys, this is straight from the horse's mouth. Straight from the horse's mouth. U.S. Department of Treasury. It started like this. This article right here, guys. South Korean officials consider a revision of existing crypto regulation. So, to make a long story short, of course, they're working on regulation. But something jumped out at me in this article right here that sent me down this rabbit hole. The government has misunderstood the virtual currency and tried to meet the real currency standards. So, there is a various problems. The industry does not stand still while waiting for regulatory sandbox authorization. So this is what sent me down the rabbit hole, guys, of where am I? Okay, it's still here. I just want to make sure it's there. The industry does not stand still while waiting for regulatory sandbox authorization. So basically, so I said, okay, wow, that's the word I've been looking for, guys, sandbox authorization, because I've been doing research on this, and pretty much these companies that are not allowed to send XRP because it's a currency across state lines, which would be against the law or violating the Patriot Act, basically under these regulatory sandboxes, which the Department of Treasury is going to talk about it, guys. You don't want to miss this video. So what I did, guys, is I pretty much Googled regulatory sandbox authorization and Ripple, and then this came back to me. July 6, 2016, guys, we're going down the rabbit hole. Fintech Regulatory Sandbox Working Group. Monetary Authority of Singapore works with Ripple. We know, dear Monetary Authority of Singapore, we are very thankful for the opportunity to provide our input and applaud MAS's continued leadership in fostering responsible innovation. Guys, this is amazing. I will link all this in the description too. I highly recommend you read this. Sandbox proposal, Singapore and other countries create a safe space for innovation that may enable companies to develop positive, proactive relationship with regulators while empowering regulators to learn about emerging technology as it develops. The benefits to participate ultimately result in better products and services for consumers and businesses. Sandbox proposals to be successful, they must establish an open, proactive environment free from fear of regulatory action, so long as participating companies adhere to the sandbox expectations. Wow. Now, what I'm talking about, guys, is the sandbox. Pretty much it's like like a working group that doesn't have to be concerned with law. And this is why this came out right here, guys. New York Finance Watchdog fiercely opposes sandboxes for fintechs. Now watch where we go with this one, guys. The chief of New York financial regulatory body said Tuesday that the agency is fiercely opposed to U.S. Treasury Department recent endorsement of regulatory sandbox. So hold on. What do we got, guys? We got the U.S. Treasury Department endorsed regulatory sandbox. Now, basically what he said, the idea that innovation will flourish only by allowing companies to evade laws that protect consumers and which also safeguards markets to migrate risk of financial services. So basically says the idea that innovation will flourish by allowing companies to evade law. So pretty much we got somebody who's jealous here. But the thing is, guys, what they're saying is the Department of Treasury endorsed regulatory sandboxes. Now, we strongly worded comments after the Treasury Department released the report. So when you click on this right here, guys, release the report, where does this take you to? U.S. Department of Treasury. Treasury releases report on non-bank financial fintech and innovation. Washington, U.S. Department of Treasury today released a report identifying improvements to the regulatory landscape that will better support non-bank financial institutions, embrace financial technology, and foster innovation. Guys, trust me, we're going to go to the executive order with this, which is going to call Ripple by name. American innovation is the cornerstone of a healthy U.S. economy. Creating a regulatory environment that supports responsible innovation is crucial for economic growth and success, particularly the financial sector. Secretary Stephen T. Mnuchin. Stephen T. Mnuchin, guys, is the head of the Financial Stability Oversight Council. Now, we've covered this in the past. I should have pulled the article up, but hopefully you'll take my word for it. He came out with a report that says cryptocurrencies do not pose a threat to the financial system. Now, in the Financial Stability Oversight Council, we also have Crypto Dad, chairman of the CFTC, Chris Goncarlo, also who says crypto is here to stay. On the FSOC, we also got Jerome Powell, who sits on the Faster Payments Task Force with Ryan Zagone. Now, Jerome Powell in the Financial Stability Oversight Council also sits on the board of directors at the Bank of International Settlements. And who's on there? Mark Carney, who's Bank of England governor, who also is partnered with Ripple. Wow, come on, this is wild. The report issued, the Treasury's report, is in response to the Executive Order 13772 issued by President Trump in 2017, calls on the Treasury to identify laws and regulations that are inconsistent with core principles for financial regulation is set forth. Wow. Treasury recommendations are designed to facilitate U.S. firm innovation by streamlining and refining the regulatory environment. These improvements should enable U.S. firms to move rapidly, adopt competitive technologies, safeguard consumer data, and operate with greater regulatory efficiency. Wow. Embrace the efficient, responsible use of consumer financial data, competitive technologies, modernize regulations for an array of financial products and activities, facilitate regulatory sandboxes to promote innovation. Now, guys, guess what? For example, right here, let me jump to this one. Coinbase soft launches international payments with XRP. Guys, if you think that they decided to do this last week and they just did it, there's no way. Coinbase has been operating under a sandbox initiative approved by the Department of Treasury the whole time. Guys, Coinbase has been using XRP for years. And guess what, guys? If you don't believe that, I do got something else right here that backs that up. Banking giant Santander reveals major expansion of Ripple powered payments app. Now check this out right down here, guys. We read this the other day. The app is for the unbanked, will allow users to send money around the world. Back in January, Santander chair touted the benefits of OnePay FX, which is powered by Ripple's payment. You can actually do it to Poland, Brazil, and Chile. The devil's in the details. Where's this at, guys? It's right in here somewhere. The avalanche near future Santander. Damn it, I do not want to start this video over as far as I am. Guys, there was an article, Bank of Santander Giant reveals major expansion. It says in here, guys, that they've been testing the technology for 2 years. I've read this article multiple times. An event in London, company announced will soon launch on bank when anyone send money in the world. Near future. Okay, I'm glad I found that. I did not want to start this video over. And it works really well because the rails that we're using, which, as you say, we've collaborated with Ripple. We've been testing those for 2 years, actually with our own employees. So right there, guys, they clearly said it. They've been testing Ripple for 2 years. Now, we're just starting to hear about the developments or the partnerships of who's actually using Ripple or XRP or even XCurrent. But here's my thing, guys. Under the Sandbox Initiative, they've been using this for 2 years. So how long do you think Coinbase been testing XRP before they decide to go live with international payments? Clearly, guys, I just showed you on the Department of Treasury facilitate regulatory sandboxes to promote innovation. We even had a New York Watchdog upset about it. The idea that innovation will flourish by allowing companies to evade laws. Well, guess what, guys? Regulation is slow. We have to have these sandboxes. Treasury releases report on non-bank financial invitations in Fintech. Now, this goes to this right here, guys. We strongly, when they talk about the sandboxes, after the Treasury Department released a report, when you click on that, it brings you to this. I'll click on it again to show you. U.S. Department of Treasury, and we just read this: embrace efficient, responsible consumer, streamline regulatory environment to foster innovation, avoid fragmentation, modernize regulations for an array of financial products. But check this out, guys. This is where it gets really good. Today's report is the fourth and final series of a report released under the previous reports. And if you click the full report, what's that bring us to? A financial system that creates economic opportunities, non-bank financial, fintech, and innovation. That brings us to the Executive Order 13772, Core Principles for Regulating the United States Financial System. Bam! There it is, guys. You've seen clearly how it built up to it. That basically, what I'm here to tell you guys is behind the scenes, the world will be powered by Ripple, XRP the standard. Coinbase clearly just reflected that with them. Now, guess what, guys? This is also massive before we get into the executive order. Instant PayPal withdrawals now available for all U.S. customers. If you got Coinbase operating under the watchful eye of the SEC, converting cryptocurrency into cash through PayPal, that clearly tells me that they got the okay from regulators. Now, I did pull this up. Coinbase regulatory compliance. Coinbase, the company which operates Coinbase and Coinbase Pro, is a license to engage in money transmission in most U.S. jurisdictions. Must the Coinbase money transmission license cover U.S. dollar wallets and transfers? Coinbase is also registered as a money service business with FinCEN. Now, guess what, guys? This is massive. Coinbase is required to comply with many financial services and consumer protection laws, including the Bank Secrecy Act. That's massive. Now, check this out. The U.S. Patriot Act. Coinbase is, adhering to the U.S. Patriot Act. Coinbase to designate compliance officer to ensure compliance with applicable laws. So basically, guys, if you got Coinbase compliant with the Patriot Act, Bank Secrecy Act, register with FinCEN, and they also have the BIT license, come on, guys. Regulation is here. Not enough where we got the green light on mass adoption yet, but behind the scenes, we have enough green light as us being pioneers to be excited about this opportunity. That's for sure. Now, guess what, guys? That brings us to this. We read this many times. I will link in the description. I highly recommend you read this, guys. This is the executive order. Clearly is wrote for Ripple. Now, why do I say the executive order is wrote for Ripple? Just maybe because they call Ripple's name out in the executive order right here. Ripple right there, guys. Executive order, sandbox initiatives, fostering innovation, fostering growth. And I've done a video on this before, guys. Out of all these institutions here, I connected 30 of them to being partners with Ripple. Here's R3 right here. Here's Chris Larson's Prosper. There's PNC Bank. There's PayPal right there. Come on, guys. They're all on the same team. We got the NASDAQ on here. We got MoneyGram. We got Goldman Sachs, Circle, Freddie Mac, MasterCard, Lending Club. I mean, it goes on and on, guys. That's what I'm Amazon, American Express, Ripple Partner, Apple Pay, Bank of America, Earthport Partner, E-Trade, Citigroup, Capital One. Come on, this is amazing, guys. I'm loving it, that's for sure. And before we get out of here, guys, I just want to clearly show you guys what's going on. And this is why I like doing rabbit hole research, because when you see behind the scenes what's going on, no FUD or FOMO will cause fear. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. Non-bank financial, fintech, and innovation. Non-bank financial firms play important roles in providing financial services to U.S. consumers and businesses, providing credit to the economy. Financial crisis altered the environment in which banks and non-banks compete to provide financial services. Many traditional financial companies, such as banks, credit unions, and insurance companies, experienced significant distress during the crisis. At the same time, as part of a longer trend, I mean, guys, this is amazing. The landscape of financial services has changed substantially. You damn right it has, guys. Emerging trends in financial amelioration, technology, expanding access. I'm telling you guys, I'm not going to go through this because I've read it so much, but this is executive order right here with Donald Trump. He wrote it. Department of Treasury wrote it. It calls out Ripple's name twice in there. Guys, I mean, I could not be more excited than I am about this opportunity in cryptocurrency, that's for sure. Especially when you start seeing names like Department of Treasury, FinCEN, Stephen Mnuchin, Donald Trump, and we connect them all to Ripple. Alright guys, the CKJ coin will come down right now. Smash that coin to subscribe to the channel. What do you guys think about this video right here? Let me know what you think in the comments. I respond to all comments. Do CKJ a favor. Smash that subscribe. Smash that thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. You'll be notified when I release a video. Much love. Mahalo.